6 Among Us Tips to Outsmart the Imposter. Among Us is a fun murder mystery game aboard a spaceship where you play as either a crewmate attempting to survive while doing tasks or a sneaky murderer trying to slaughter the whole crew. Although it was first released in 2018, Among Us has surged in popularity this summer alongside Fall Guys. Winning the game as a crewmate can be a challenge with the many and sometimes frustratingly hard tasks you'll need to complete to keep the ship running. Aboard this spaceship, there's a party of 10 astronauts. Depending on the mode you're playing, up to 3 of those astronauts are bloodthirsty imposters attempting to kill the crew, and it's up to the crewmates to survive and uncover the imposter. After each dead body is discovered, all living players will be notified and pulled into a voting session. Here you can accuse your fellow players of being the murderer and prove yourself innocent at the same time. But outsmarting the imposter is no easy task. Get it? No need to worry guys, cause Starface Production is here to ensure your survival in the game. Before we continue, please subscribe to our channel and give us a like, and hit the notification bell for more videos. These are 6 tips on how to outsmart the imposter in Among Us. Number 6. Understand your surroundings and your tasks. When playing Among Us, one of the best things you can do to improve your gameplay is to know your maps and tasks for those respective maps. Often, you'll have people asking you what tasks you were doing, so you need to be able to speak clearly and specifically about what tasks you were completing. Remember though, not all maps have the same tasks. If you accidentally mention a task from a different map than the one you're playing, someone will notice and call you out for it. When this happens, you become suspected for not having a story that checks out, which can lead to you getting the space boot. Avoid this by knowing what your tasks are, on what map they're on, and where on the map you do them. By knowing this, you can better defend yourself in a discussion. Having this knowledge also helps you plan your route better. Rather than mindlessly wandering around the map, you can plan an efficient route that lets you become task complete sooner than other crewmates. Just as only crewmates can complete tasks, only the imposter can travel using vents, so better watch the vents, which can be found throughout the map on the ground. Anyway, you've likely spotted an imposter if you see a player lingering by a vent, popping out of one, or hopping into one. Once your task complete, you can stick in larger groups to help protect yourself and your crewmates better, leaving the imposter unable to secure a kill. Number 5. Finishing the tasks as quickly as you can. When you begin a game of Among Us, you and your crewmates will be assigned numerous tasks to complete. Complete them quickly to make sure there's nothing distracting your team if the imposter can thin your numbers. If you're doing tasks, each one can be used as an alibi when somebody is inevitably slain by the imposter. Also, take note that the imposter cannot complete tasks. If you're close to somebody who's seemingly completing a task, make sure to watch the taskbar in the upper left corner. If the taskbar doesn't increase after somebody walks away from a task, they're probably an imposter. Get him! Number 4. An alibi. The biggest mistake when playing Among Us is players lacking alibis. Anyway, let's define an alibi. In Among Us, an alibi is a defense for someone by providing an account of their whereabouts at the time of a murder. That being said, it's common for people to get nervous and not want to be around others at all. So they go off on their own to complete their task, hoping no one will pass by. While it may sound productive, it's not. This leaves you vulnerable to being carelessly murdered by an imposter, or when a murder occurs, you have no one to say you didn't do it. Having no alibi makes you a suspect of the crime, and could allow for an imposter to use their silver tongue in a discussion to make others believe you did it. When this happens, you have effectively given the imposter a free kill and ended your own run. To prevent this from happening, find someone to do tasks with. By sticking with a fellow crewmate, you have an effective safety net to complete your tasks. An imposter is significantly less likely to kill you in front of another crewmate, and on the chance they do kill you, you have someone there to report the body immediately. But if you get unlucky and try to do tasks with an imposter, you're probably going to die. Still, it's better to try sticking with someone than to be left alone. Number 3. Trust no one. By paying attention to players, you can gain a lot of information. Simple things like checking who is trying to restore power and seeing who plays alone can tell you a lot. If someone is alone all the time, that could mean they are looking for another lone player to grab an easy kill. With nobody around, an imposter has time to make an escape to find an alibi. Although this isn't always the case, it should cause worry, so pay attention to the people who don't go to electric to turn on the power. Sometimes a crewmate won't go to power because they are finishing a long task and assume others will get it done. However, this is often not the case. An imposter will often try to kill someone going to power rather than going to fix it themselves. This is an opportune time for the imposter since it is highly unlikely someone will see the kill. Noticing things like this can give you a better idea of who is likely a crewmate and who is likely an imposter. Do note that this isn't hard evidence. It is something worth bringing up in discussion, but don't go headfirst into an accusation based on that alone. It may give off the impression you just want someone to be booted out, which is a strategy sometimes utilized by imposters. You don't want to be considered an imposter just for having a thought. Number 2. Watch from the security room. One of the best ways to counter those scary imposters roaming your ship is by keeping a direct eye on the whole ship. How exactly? By heading to the admin room to access security cameras. If you can keep an eye on this for a while, you might be able to spot other players doing something suspicious, possibly outing them as an imposter. Aside from the cameras, the logs are super helpful if you know how to read them. Number 1. Be attentive in discussion time. Last but not the least, be attentive. In addition to paying attention to player actions, take note of what they say during discussions. To start, let's talk about imposter aggression and silence. People tend to speak differently when they play imposter compared to when they play crewmate. Sometimes, instead of providing additional information to help uncover the imposter, they will remain silent and just let things happen so they don't draw attention to themselves. If the player goes unnoticed, they may be successful in waiting for the group to vote out a crewmate on accident. Understand that this isn't always a dead giveaway, but note that this is unusual behavior for a crewmate. Alternatively, an imposter may be hyper-aggressive and attempt to dominate the conversation, not allowing others to defend themselves. Most crewmates won't feel the need to drown out others' voices since they are trying to gain more information. It may be appropriate to call out the conversation dominator and see how the discussion develops. Do realize who you're playing with though. Some people talk a lot, regardless of which role they're playing. You need to pay close attention to these people and find trends in their mannerisms between games to piece together if they're lying or not. It can be challenging to do this, but if done successfully, you will be able to make a more educated read on them. And that's it. Thanks for watching. What's your strategy in Among Us? Share it in the comments. Also, subscribe to Starface Productions, leave a thumbs up on the video, and hit the bell icon for more updates. Ciao!